Welcome to Bankless, where we have a different kind of episode for you today. An episode that is also an announcement, because today, Bankless is announcing that we have acquired a company. Bankless is no longer just a media studio. We have acquired a company to help you on your journey of going bankless. And that company is called Earnifi. And the creator of Earnifi is named Dawson Botsford, who we are talking to here today on the show. Perhaps some of you have heard of Earnifi. If you haven't heard of Earnifi, Earnifi is this application that you can plug in your Ethereum wallet, and Earnifi will tell you if you have something that you can receive. It's an airdrop, an NFT, a POAP, an ENS name. I don't know, any opportunity that you might have on Ethereum, Earnifi can let you know about it. And Ryan and I think that this is such an important tool that we wanted to bring it into the fold inside of the Bankless ecosystem for the Bankless Nation. Because now Bankless is not just about education, but also tools to help you explore the frontier. So today on the show, we are talking to Dawson Botsford, who is the sole creator behind Earnifi, and is now one of the founders of Bankless Labs, the new software studio out of Bankless. And we're gonna tell you the story of how he created Earnifi, how he's a relentless hacker. In the same way that I'm a conference goer, Dawson is a hacker. He's attended every single hackathon. And so we're going to talk about Dawson's journey creating Earnifi and how we've ultimately come to where we are today, with Earnifi and Bankless joining forces, and where we are going into the future. So strap in, join us on this journey west, and without further ado, without any message from our sponsors, we're gonna go right into this conversation with Dawson Botsford, the creator of Earnifi. What's up, Bankless Nation? I'm here with Dawson Botsford of Earnifi. Dawson, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, David.
Dawson, what's Earnifi?
Earnifi is the Web3 notification tool. It originally launched as the airdrop checker, and that's what Earnifi has been known for the past 2 years. Just zero spam, high quality airdrop notifications. But now it includes even more than just that. It also includes checking you for POAP tokens, whitelists, NFT mints, ENS names expiring, and more.
And Dawson, who is Dawson?
Dawson is a hacker, and not the bad kind. The white hat builder, the one who goes to hackathons all the time, the one that loves open source software, the one that is in Web3 for the right reasons, to help decentralize and democratize access to finance. And helping distribute airdrops was the first step of that.
And so what made you, maybe walk us through a little bit your beginnings with crypto, beginnings with Ethereum, and perhaps your beginnings attending a hackathon, and eventually we'll run into the story where you decide to make Earnifi.
Yeah, so the journey started actually a long time ago. In 2014, I had some folks in Boulder, Colorado, where I went to university, really red pill me, orange pill me actually on Bitcoin. So this was before Ethereum was around. Actually had some folks come and tell me about it who were pretty into darknet markets. And so that part didn't appeal to me, but the idea of programmable money just got me hooked right away. It did take me a while to figure out how to make a full-time job of it, but eventually I got completely pilled on the smart contract idea. So you have to fast forward till Ethereum came out, of course, and then Ethereum had some time to have some valuable applications on top. After that, I was able to realize how cool the smart contracts could be on these platforms.
Yeah, totally. And were you a hackathon attender before Ethereum, or was Ethereum your first introduction into hackathons?
Yeah, so I'm the hacker of all hackers as far as hackathons are concerned. I started the hackathon back when I was in college, the one at my university. I flew to hackathons all the time. I was employed by Major League Hacking, which is the company for college and high school hackathons. And then afterwards, just continued to do more hackathon stuff, which was mentoring. And then eventually, when I thought I was all aged out from hackathons, ETH Global events come around, which is just the next level. After college hackathons, you can graduate to do hackathons with ETH Global. And so I did, I think, 6 ETH Global events last year. And one of them, the first one of the year actually, in 2021 was Earnifi. It was a finalist in the February hackathon.
And so if hackathons were a sport, you would be an athlete of that sport, yeah?
Exactly, yes. An athlete, almost always training.
Almost always training. How many Ethereum specific hackathons have you gone to?
I think I'd have to check my POAP history, but my guess would be 8.
And okay, so Earnifi was the product of a hackathon. Which hackathon specifically?
I'd actually have to pull it up. I don't recall which one it was, but it's really easy to find the ETH Global page because they keep it around.
Sure. All right. Well, it reminds me of all of my like conference attendees. Like as at some point, all the conferences I've been to, I'll kind of just like blur together, and I can't remember which happened where. So I'd imagine it's the same. What was the inspiration for you to make Earnifi?
So the Uniswap airdrop had just happened, and I believe it was actually Mirror Protocol, which airdropped this thing called METH. I was scrolling through Twitter one day and found that I had $1,000 of METH just for having been a Uniswap recipient who did not sell. So they did this really cool system where like, if you claimed but didn't sell, then you were rewarded. And it was literally one tweet that I saw that said, hey, go check if you have it at their website. And when I saw that, I realized if I wasn't watching Twitter all day, I would have missed that one tweet and I would have never even heard about METH. Then that was $1,000 in my pocket that day. And so I realized that, well, wait, what if I were to put those two, Uniswap and METH, into a single website to search? And then I also came across POAP tokens, came across all the other airdrops that were live, like 1inch already, and really just put them all together, threw out a really cool tweet GIF that had a bunch of confetti falling. It was like a big party on screen. I think I might have used Vitalik's address or someone's address to just show, like, look, these are all the airdrops you can have, even today, when back then there were only 5 airdrops that existed in the world. And yet, even back then, it was still useful to aggregate those 5.
And so your head was at like, well, if it's useful to aggregate just merely 5 airdrops, it'll be even more useful to aggregate 500 of them, for example. I would imagine that was your thought process. Do you remember if Vitalik's address had an unclaimed airdrop in it?
Oh yeah, Vitalik has always had hundreds or thousands of dollars unclaimed. And Austin Griffith also has, but I've messaged Austin a bunch about it, and I think he's actually a customer at this point.
Nice. Yeah, that's hilarious. We'll have to remind Vitalik that he needs to go claim his airdrops before they expire. So you've gone to a bajillion hackathons. At every single hackathon, you make something. But Earnifi was different in that you made Earnifi at a hackathon, but then you decided to keep with it. So what was different about Earnifi that is differentiated it between all the other like hacks that you've hacked together?
Yeah, this is an important point because the thing about being a hacker is you're always spinning out new ideas. But the downside of that is that you don't always commit to anything even. Sometimes you're still doing your day job while you're spinning out hackathons. But for me, I was always a bit more serious about the things I created because I knew I wanted to be a founder one day. And I really followed the indie hacking movement and minimalism and essentialism. And to me, the idea of combining all that into one thing, which was my career, was the dream. And so as soon as I saw that people really wanted this tool and really wanted to use Claimable, Earnifi, so it used to be called Claimable when it first launched, when I saw that there was desire for this, there was a little bit of product market fit, I dropped everything and went very seriously in the direction of being an indie hacker and a founder.
And so Earnifi, Claimable, from day one, it was obvious that there was a there, that this was something that was worth your time, and you never really questioned whether or not this was going to be successful.
I feel really lucky to say that I knew that there was going to be users from day one. That was just by nature of the way it launched, because during the hackathon, actually, I had posted that sizzle tweet with the confetti falling and everything, and it went viral on Twitter before the hackathon ended. So actually, during judging, the first round of judging, one of the judges found $5,000 through Earnifi live. And then the very next round of judging, the same thing happened with a different judge. And so people had already seen it a bit on Twitter at that point, and that just really fed the viral growth even more.
Yeah, that's hard to argue with that level of product market fit. Amazing. Okay, so, all right, you won the hackathon. Things are going well. The obvious product market fit, ton of confidence in the product, something that like a lot of early upstarting companies would dream of having. Take us forward in the next like year of time with Earnifi. What was the next year like?
That next year was intense. That was the year of the 2021 bull market. So we had a ton of DeFi tokens launching. We had a ton of NFT booms as well. And in all of those booms, there was hundreds of different airdrops. These had all kinds of new things invented as well, like expirations. So some airdrops, they expire forever. And if you don't claim before they expire, it's gone. And so during that time, there were some pretty stressful things that came upon myself as the sole engineer on this. Like there was an airdrop that had 7 days expiration. So if you didn't claim it within those 7 days, it was gone forever. Everyone had $1,000 each. So I had to rush around like crazy to make sure that was implemented properly and people got notified. And that's just one example of hundreds of what happened that year.
So yeah, it was I would imagine, a very challenging year for any service that responsibility was to notify people of airdrops, because it was a year full of airdrops. You said solo engineer. Was there anyone else working on Earnifi, or was it just you?
So I've done very occasional consulting for help with things like the internal support tools and then getting the design nailed down and really a good design for folks to interact with. But I've been the sole engineer on the application you see today. And not just the engineer, I also didn't have ops or CEO or anyone else. I was really trying this indie hack route.
Okay, so the Earnifi team, we're looking at him. There's one.
Yeah, in support emails, I sometimes say, we are working on this and we appreciate your business, but it's always been, I appreciate your business.
It's the royal we.
Me, myself, and I. Yeah, all three of us.
How many hours a week were you putting into this thing during the peak of the bull market?
Yeah, on some of the serious weeks, it was coding while eating. It was, after dinner is code time, before dinner is code time, in addition to just a work week. And so those were some of the tougher weeks, but actually I found so much energy through it. I'm sure you felt similar, David, during the bull. It was just so much good content. There was such a movement, and we were at the center of that movement. And it was just so addictive. And I actually have some friends that ask me about my lifestyle in Earnifi. They ask, why do I continue to work so hard or long hours if I don't need to? If I could just put it on autopilot or hire someone, why won't I? And some of that response is that this is actually the most meaningful thing I could think of. This is the most enjoyable thing I could think of to spend my time doing.
Why do you enjoy it so much?
Oh, I've gotten into a really lucky place here because there's some really interesting technical challenges, and it's delivered $150 million to people who are everyday people like us, just DeFi users. It's almost like the ultimate sticking it to the man, because big corporations aren't getting these airdrops and the individuals are, but they need a tool to know about it. And so I feel like I'm really connecting directly with a bunch of everyday folks.
And helping them go bankless. So I appreciate that service as well, of course. And I definitely am. So I'm a bit of a chaotic individual, a little bit less organized. And so I had a handful of Ethereum wallets that I would use, something like 10 or 15 of them. And I got the Uniswap airdrop like something like 3 or 4 times the day that the Uniswap airdrop happened. But then, because of Earnifi, I actually found it like 4 more times after that with wallets. The nice thing about Earnifi was that, like, in order to check an airdrop, I didn't have to load it up in MetaMask. I could copy and paste address into Earnifi over and over again really, really quickly. And so, like, I could have manually checked my Uniswap airdrops with all of my wallets, but that would have taken me like 20 to 30 minutes, especially if they were spread across different private keys, which they were. But it was Earnifi. I was like, okay, paste into the search bar, hit go. And then I'd also discover like, oh, DYDX, also airdrop that I missed because I let it expire. Oops. And maybe if I had subscribed to Earnifi at that time, I wouldn't have missed that. So that's how I've used Earnifi in the past. I mean, is there any other like cases like this that you've heard?
There have been, yeah. So Baki Bupa, he's a guy who runs a lot of the Ethereum scene in Australia. I came across his profile once when I was doing this Santa giveaway, 25 Days of Christmas. I would manually load up people's addresses and just check them. And the highest value ones, I would notify them directly on Twitter. And Baki had like 60K. I think it was like 60 or 65,000 USD worth of unclaimed airdrops on his address. And so I got to notify him of that and let him run with it from there.
That's a great marketing tool. Okay, so Earnifi, it notifies you of airdrops that you can collect. It also notified me of my Pudgy Penguin, and there's like a little penguin, like little penguins, like a derivative NFT project that I was able to mint from Earnifi. So it also does NFTs. It also does POAPs. And so like, what's your process for like discovering all of these things? Like, how do you just make sure that you are actually logging all of the valuable potential things that are claimable? How do you make sure that you find all of them?
Yeah, to find all of these, it's a combination of really leaning on the community, leaning on my friends, other folks who really care about collecting and receiving tokens, airdrops, NFTs, just like you and I do as Web3 builders and users. And then in addition, it is being a part of these discords, being a part of these Twitter communities, and trying to really make sure you see the heartbeat of what's being built, what comes out, who's getting funded, and who is decentralizing. Because airdrops are usually the first stage in decentralizing a business. So if folks really want to distribute a governance token, one of the most popular ways is to send out an airdrop. So making sure you know when a company is kind of getting close to that point, or there's murmurs about them decentralizing, it usually is a good hint that they're going to do an airdrop.
The dog whistle, the decentralized dog whistle, of course. So Dawson, the big news here is that you are no longer a lone wolf. And so Ryan reached out to you after he discovered that I found my extra Uniswap airdrops with Earnifi, and was like, "Hey, how can we work together?" So now there's it's still Earnifi, but now there's this overarching company called Bankless Labs, which is a combination of Dawson and Bankless. Why did you decide to come and join forces with Bankless?
So things have come across my plate before to join forces with, and I deferred and deflected all of them because I didn't see that as the right route for Earnifi. The thing that's most important to me is that Earnifi continues to help people like me, like you, find our unclaimed assets. And Bankless wants to make that dream happen even more. And now I'm a part of Bankless in order to make that happen. So I'm super excited to call this Earnifi by Bankless now.
Earnifi by Bankless has a great ring to it, and we're super excited to see what we can help you with. Is it weird to go from a lone wolf to a team of like 15 people?
It's a very new experience. I really felt this actually working together with operations and some of the hiring folks to post some job descriptions. Previously, if I wanted to post a job description from start to finish, I have to do the screening, the interviewing, making sure I decide on the tech tool that applications pass through. There's just all these little things that you don't always know are required to make something run smooth until you're doing it. And I was really reaching a point that it was too much. I had to turn away a lot of opportunities of different directions the business could go, like different extra things that Earnifi could do for you. I had to turn away a bit and pump the brakes a bit. And now, not only are we hiring on this team, but we're also taking on a lot of new features. You know, just this week, I'm launching Git POAP integration, which allows developers who have a GitHub account to check for Git POAPs. And there's over 4,000 new POAP tokens that are being checked now, suddenly, after I have a little more bandwidth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so now that you have like the Bankless machine behind you to do a lot of like marketing, operations, all the stuff that like, you know, hackers probably begrudgingly do because they have to, but it's not really hacking. What are you planning on doing? And what are you hoping Earnifi turns into now that it has like Bankless firepower behind it?
Yeah, the thing I want to make clear here is that I'm doing the opposite of stepping away or moving on.
Yes.
I am even more dedicated to the mission that Earnifi has been doing this whole time, with now a lot of extra firepower. You know, working together with you and Ryan so far has been excellent. We're 10 days in, and yet I already feel like this big weight is lifted off to be able to get some help with some parts of this business. So now that I have a little more bandwidth, bringing on a lot of this engineering talent to improve how quickly addresses are searched, which features are supported. You know, this is other things like social-based airdrops. There's Discord and Twitter-based things that Earnifi is adding as we speak. And so being able to add upon this feature set to be the notification tool for all of Web3 is what's now going to be happening. So it's much bigger than just airdrops. It's notifications.
Notifications just spark my imagination for what like the broad scope of notifications beyond airdrops is. Like make that super clear for the listeners.
Yeah, so let's say you are worried about some valuable assets you have in your wallet. Maybe you've got a CryptoPunk and a Pudgy Penguin, and suddenly that Pudgy Penguin gets sent out of that wallet. You don't know why, you didn't do it, but you get a notification within 10 seconds from Earnifi that that NFT was transferred out of your wallet. Well, what are you going to do? With that information in hand, you can now go check and drain or sweep out all the other assets in that wallet. That's an example of a way you could respond to a notification. This would be turning on notifications for valuable NFTs that you own. Are they moving? Are they leaving your wallet? And that's just one of a million types of these triggers. So it's almost like anything that can be a trigger can now be something and will be something that you can get notified of. Another thing is if you're really active in DeFi, maybe your loan is about to get liquidated and you need to add collateral to one side of this loan to not get liquidated. Earnifi could save you thousands, or who knows how big of a whale you are, it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars by letting you know these things you would not have otherwise known.
The other use cases that really come to mind are, like, to me, off-chain stuff. So, like, say your wallet has a particular state, right? Like, and maybe there's an event going on somewhere in the world that, like, if your wallet checks this box, then you can get tickets to this event, right? And maybe you need notification of that your wallet, the state of your wallet specifically, like, you have a pudgy penguin, you can get into this event. You might need to be notified of that. Is this something that you've thought about as well, or is this might be out of scope because it's off-chain stuff?
That's absolutely in scope. That's something that I think that also you uniquely notice because in New York City, there's actually a lot of token-based events. I was at NFT NYC in 2021, and there was a ton. I remember there was a Pudgy Penguin event. I believe there was a Bored Ape event. These are things that you get these unlocks for. Especially, actually, I went to that event because of the Friends with Benefits events, and you have to have those tokens to unlock that. So that's definitely something I plan on doing that Earnifi will be supporting in the future.
Dawson, as we come to a close here, what last message do you have for the Bankless Nation and the Earnifi community?
The thing that I want both communities to know is that you're now one community. And in addition, that one community is going to be prepared better than ever, because not only do you have the information from Bankless, you've now got the tech tools that you need for your Bankless journey. So there's a builder now, a part of the core mission here, that is helping you both stay educated and get the right tools on your Bankless journey.
Dawson, thank you so much for coming on and telling us all about the future of Earnifi, and I am very, very excited to see what happens.
Absolutely. I'm excited to work together more with y'all. This is going to be awesome.
Likewise. Cheers. Hey, we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, head over to Bankless HQ right now to develop your crypto investing skills and learn how to free yourself from banks and gain your financial independence. We recommend joining our daily newsletter, podcast, and community as a Bankless Premium subscriber to get the most out of your Bankless experience. You'll get access to our market analysis, our alpha leaks, and exclusive content, and even the Bankless token for airdrops, raffles, and unlocks. If you're interested in crypto, the Bankless community is where you want to be. Click the link in the description to become a Bankless Premium subscriber today. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for in-depth interviews with industry leaders, Ask Me Anythings, and weekly roll-ups where we summarize the week in crypto and other fantastic content. Thanks everyone for watching and being on the journey as we build out the Bankless Nation.